So we're live now. So with your permission, can we please start the session?
Yes, ma'am. We can start the presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello everyone and welcome to this evening session. The White Army is blessed to have Dr. Aman Kumar sir as our teacher and mentor today. Welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to all the active participants present today here on YouTube and on Zoom. Welcome to all of you. So you can please begin your presentation.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to present a beautiful topic, and it's interesting as well about immunization. Everybody is worried a lot of about the immunization in current scenario, and in this session, we are going to talk about the in detail about the national immunization schedule, what government of India is focusing more over it with respect to infants and children. Okay. So if you see my presentation, it will go through introduction, then it will have some national immunization schedule. I will be explaining about the ice packs also, what is seasoning and not. And at the end, I will be telling about the immunization waste disposal sites, how you are going to dispose the material of the after doing the immunization, after conducting the immunization sessions. So that will be the layout of my presentation. Why we are focusing more over the immunization is why, because vaccination has been the most effective medical strategies to control the infectious diseases. You know that earlier a smallpox was very much there in our country, but later on with the introduction of the vaccination, we have eradicated the smallpox. And with today's scenario, you can see that the poliomyelitis is also being almost eradicated, not still completely, but it is almost eradicated. Why we are focusing on the vaccination is every year we are saving almost 2 to 3 million lives every year. And you know, some of the viral and the bacterial diseases can affect the children's worldwide. So we can prevent the death of or the mortality rate of those children who are getting infected by some diseases. If you see what is the vaccination and immunization, it's a very beautiful question is being asked in all the time of the Viva. Like, what is vaccination? What is immunization? You know that the act of getting vaccine to produce immunity is vaccination against certain disease. But the immunization is becoming immune to a specific disease of infection or a disease, typically through a vaccination, that is an immunization. Means after vaccination, yeah, towards the particular disease you can get an immunity towards that particular virus or the bacteria or the infections. There are types of some kinds of vaccines are there, live vaccines and the killed vaccines. There are other types also. We will be dealing all those things in this slides. Okay. Live vaccines, you know that we are preparing these live vaccines from the wild organism or the live organism. What we are doing in this thing is we are repeatedly, it's a laboratory process. We are this is being passed to the repeated in tissue culture or in the chick embryo, and they are having the immunogenicity, which will not cause the full-blown disease to the individual whenever that particular disease is getting injected. Okay, that vaccine is getting injected, it will not cause the full-blown disease, but will have certain kind of immunogenicity for that particular organism. Look into this live organism multiply in the host. You know that it will go on multiplying in the host, and the resulting antigenic dose is larger than what is injected. Okay, continuously it will be injected, so the response towards the live vaccine is very high. Okay, it will have all the major and the minor antigenic component as well. There are some live vaccine which are engaged with the tissue of our body. Suppose if you're going for the oral polio vaccine, the intestinal mucosa is getting engaged into that. Okay, and there may be some other mechanisms such as persistence of the latent virus. There are some virus which will go on completely it will multiply into your body, and it will have some better immunity with the live vaccines. So we are dealing with the live vaccines. In general, live vaccines are more potent immunizing agent than the killed vaccine. And what are those 4 reasons? I have explained in details. Okay, and it should be carefully noted that whenever you are injecting a live vaccine, you should check the immune system of that particular person, whether that particular person is suffering from any severe kind of diseases. Suppose the person is on a corticosteroid therapy, or the person is having leukemia or lymphoma, or if at all the person is suffering from any immune deficiency diseases, please avoid the live vaccines in those patients. Pregnancy is also contraindicated for the live vaccine, but still we are going for the vaccination. We have to see the uh, risk of harm, which is harm. If we are not injecting the vaccine, the risk will be higher on the side. If we are injecting, the risk will be lower on the side. But still, we are contraindicating for the pregnancy also. Better to avoid that particular live vaccines for the pregnancy as well. Whenever you are administering the 2 live vaccine, whenever you are going for the 2 live vaccine, either you do one thing, you can go for the simultaneously administration of the vaccine at the different site. But if you are not feasible, if you are having some kind of doubts, please take an interval of 3 weeks and then inject the 2 live vaccine. Okay. But if it is an urgent that you need to inject the 2 live vaccines, you can go at a time, but it should be at the different site. Okay. In case of live vaccine, protection is generally achieved with a single dose. Like I said, it will multiply with a faster rate after the injection. Okay. But whenever we are going for the second dose, most of the live vaccines will have the single dose or the double dose. There are some exceptions to that vaccines, that the polio vaccine is 3 or more doses to be given a spaced interval for the effective immunity. But live vaccines, most of the live vaccine, we will have the single or the double dose. Okay. Live vaccines usually produce a durable immunity, but not always as long as that of the natural infection. Natural infection is different thing, but whenever we are going for the live vaccines, definitely you will have some kind of immunogenicity because of the live vaccines. Moving towards the inactivated or the killed vaccines, it is being produced by growing virus or the bacteria in the culture media, and then we are inactivating that particular virus or bacteria by giving some heat, or we are or by using the formalin, and then we can inject that into body, and that will activate the immunity. Okay, they are usually safe, but generally less efficacious than live vaccine. Like I said, that the live vaccine will have some multiplication. Okay, but these are generally safe, but the potency of the live vaccine is higher than that of the killed vaccines. Killed vaccines usually requires a primary series of 2 to 3 doses to produce a adequate antibody response in your body. And most of the cases, most of the killed vaccines will have some booster injection as well. The duration of the immunity following the use of this kind of vaccine is from months to year. That is why I will say that a lot of many killed vaccines, you can take 1 dose, 2 dose, 3 days, and then you will have the booster dose also. For example, if you are taking a cholera vaccine, you will have the 50% protection. The efficacy of the 3 doses of the pertussis vaccine will have the 80% in the first 3 years. But still, it goes, the immunity level decreases at certain level at certain years after the introduction of the that particular vaccine. The only absolute and contraindication to this administration is you will have this local or the general reaction. That's all. Okay. Looking into the killed vaccine and the live vaccine, I told you the live vaccine will be having more potent than the killed vaccines. There are some examples. These examples are being asked in your PG exam also. They will give one simple one example, rubella vaccine. Is it a live attenuated or killed vaccines? So remember all these table, live vaccines as well as the killed vaccines. Live vaccines, you are having BCG, oral polio vaccines, measles, mumps, rubella, yellow fever vaccine, typhoid. Okay, and in case of killed or inactivated vaccine, we will have the inactivated polio vaccine. OPV is in the live vaccine, whereas IPV is killed vaccine. Okay, rabies vaccine and the cholera vaccine. Okay, just remember this table. There are other certain kinds of, I told you the type of vaccines. We will have some toxoid type also, polysaccharide types also, and glycoconjugate as well as the recombinant. Remember this diphtheria tetanus is coming under the toxoid. Recently introduced meningococcus and the pneumococcus vaccine because of its influenza is coming under the polysaccharide, and the HIV is coming under the glycoconjugate. So remember these few examples of all the types of vaccines. Coming to immunity, I won't be going in detail with the immunity. Okay, just remember this is the active immunity and the passive immunity. Passive, whenever immunity is whenever the antibody produced in one body are transferred to another to induce the protection against the diseases. Like so many we are using immunoglobulins nowadays. For rabies vaccination also we are using human immunoglobulins that will comes under the passive immunity. There are so many vaccine strains. Again, this is important for PG entrance exam. Vaccine strains like Danish 1331. Just you have to remember it all the names. Danish 1331 strain. It is recommended by the WHO. Is for the BCG vaccination. Okay. Yellow fever vaccine 17 D strains. There are some questions are being asked from the HIV vaccines also, and they're asking the students what are the HIV vaccines which are currently uh, into the research work. It's not getting approved, you know that, but these vaccines are in research phase. So sometimes they are asking the names of the HIV vaccines. Looking into the immunization milestones, you know, in 1978 we have expanded program for immunization. Later on in 1983, we have introduced for the TT vaccination, we have introduced for the pregnant women. We are going with the 2005, if we see NIHM launched so many vaccinations that time also. NRHM, it came under the, all the vaccination schedules came under the NRHM. And in 1995, you know that polio national immunization days we were celebrating every time in January. We are celebrating this pulse polio immunization. In 1997, we have introduced vaccine while monitor. We will discuss that this thing in detail in the future slides. Okay, and recently government has launched so many new vaccines. Earlier it was not there. It was in 2016. If you see, the rotavirus vaccine was introduced. Okay, it is being introduced in the phase-wise vaccine. In 2015, we are using oral polio vaccine, but still in 2015, inactivated polio vaccine was introduced. In 2013, pentavalent vaccines are being introduced. Earlier it was DPT, but with addition of 2 more vaccination in 2013, they have added the pentavalent vaccine. In 2016, whenever in 2015 they have launched the IPV, there was a logic behind the switching from the trivalent OPV to bivalent. We'll discuss this also. What is this switching? Okay, and in 2017, government has beautifully launched the MR vaccination as well as the PCV vaccination. All these vaccination, newly vaccination is being launched by in the phase wise. Okay, so earlier, first time the government has launched that vaccination for 5 states. They saw the response and then they are launching to the other states. Okay, so from 2013, if you see, look down to 2017, lot many new vaccination was being added for our national immunization schedule. Why? Because we want to prevent some types of disease which is very high in the population. This is the public health landmark. You know that we have eradicated a smallpox. I told you. In 2015, we have also received a certificate for the MNT, maternal neonatal tetanus elimination. Okay, why? Because we have not received a single case of MNT from so many years. So that is why we are into the elimination phase of MNT. We have received a certification from the WHO in 2015, and in 2014, polio-free certification we have also received. First time we the last case in India was found in West Bengal in 2011. So to certify some disease that particular area is free from that particular disease, you need at least 3 years. Okay, first time in the last in 2011 we have seen one case from the West Bengal. So in 2014 we have received a certification from the WHO that our country is free from the polio. It's a big achievement for our country. Coming to the vaccination, whenever you are going to inject any vaccine into infant or the children, uh, very difficult to remind four key messages to the parents, because a lot of rush is there for the vaccination. But still, take your time and just explain those 4 points. Why? Because once the kid goes home, lot many side effects comes, and again that parents of that particular kid gets worried that why this thing has happened. But if you're following these 4 points sequentially to establish the relationship with your patient, you just explain that what vaccine was given and what disease it will prevent. You will have the card, Mamta card, you will have the card, and all the entries are there in card. Write the date and explain that this vaccine was given for that particular children. Next point, you have to explain that when and where to come for the next visit, because so many vaccines are having certain doses. Okay, 6 week, 10 week, 14 week. Lot many vaccination is having the next visit. So you have to inform that particular parents that the next time where you have to come. Okay. Apart from those two things, you are going to explain the minor side effects and how you are going to particularly deal with it. Suppose in government hospitals, suppose if some vaccine is being given, if that vaccine is having a side effect of fever, pain, from that particular center only they are dispensing paracetamol, and they are instructing their parents to please give this vaccine whenever your child gets fever. And next, the very important point, to keep the immunization card safe, I told you that is a Mamta card. You ask the parents to please keep this card safe. Why? Because we are not knowing that what kind of vaccination we have injected into that kid the previous visit. Okay, so please ask them to keep that immunization card safe and to bring it along with for the next time. This is the route of administration. So many times this is being asked in your viva and in your exam also, like what is the angle of intradermal, subcutaneous, and the intramuscular. You can see that the intramuscular is having an angle of 90 degree, subcutaneous is 45 degree, and intradermal injection will have the 15 degree. When you are injecting intradermal injection, the 15 degree calculation of 15 degree is very difficult for the interns or the nursing staff or the doctors. But to see that whether you have injected a particular vaccine intradermally is that look at the second figure, you will form a blade formation. Okay, and over the blade of that skin, you will see some orange color puckering, like dot everywhere over the skin will be there. So it will be having some bulge over the skin, and from there you can estimate that whatever the vaccine you have injected into the kid, it has gone into intradermal injection. Getting confused a lot of time with the intradermal and the subcutaneous. The angle is 15 degree, and for the subcutaneous, this formation will not be there. This formation will occur only in the intradermal injection, not in the subcutaneous. Okay. Government in 2014 has launched the Mission Indradhanush. You know that 7-color Mission Indradhanush. So earlier they have launched 7 disease preventable vaccines. Later on they have added another also. Okay, so we'll discuss all in detail. See this BCG vaccination. If you see this BCG vaccination, when you are going to give the VCG vaccination, when you are going to give the VCG vaccination, a lot many times questions are being asked, what are the 3 vaccinations which are given at the time of birth? So it's very easy answer. You go with the answer of BCG, hepatitis B, and OPV 0 dose. Okay. Whenever you are injecting the BCG, its route of administration is intradermal and it is on the left upper arm. After the vaccination, if you will check that the particular that particular infant has been vaccinated with the BCG or not, you can see that a small mark will be there over that left upper arm. From there, you can estimate that that particular children has been vaccinated with the BCG. Hepatitis B, it should be given within 24 hours. The site is thigh, mid little thigh, left thigh, and if you see there is some diluent is also being used for the BCG, that is sodium chloride. This chart is very important for you. Why? Because most of the question from immunization or the Viva question is from this particular table only. OPV, I told you, it is also being given at the birth, oral dose 2 drops, you know, everybody knows that. Okay. OPV first, second, third dose is also being administered 2 doses, and it can be given till the age of 5 years of age, 6, 10, and 14 days. Coming to the pentavalent newly introduced vaccine, earlier this vaccine was having DPT only, diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. Later on, the government of India has added hepatitis B as well as HIP. Okay. In pentavalent vaccine, pentavalent itself says it consists of 5 types of vaccine. So this is 5. The timing is 6, 10, 14 week. Okay. It can be given at the age of till the age of 1 year. The route of administration is intramuscular, and again it is of left thigh. Okay. See, hepatitis B is also being at the left thigh, and pentavalent vaccine is also being given on the left thigh. Okay, remember these 2 things. Fractional IPV. I told you we have given the oral polio vaccine, and now we are giving the fractional IPV also. Earlier, when government launched this IPV, it was launched with respect to the inactivated polio vaccine only. But after 1 year of introduction of the IPV, government decided we will be going with the fractional IPV. Both are having difference, I will tell you. And the route of administration is again intradermal for IPV. Okay, this is fractional IPV. IPV is having different route of administration, and the fractional IPV is having different route of administration, right upper arm. Again, you can inject this vaccine at the age of 6 and 14 weeks. We will discuss about what is fractional IPV and what is IPV. Both are having difference. We'll go with that. See, I was talking about the switch. Oral polio vaccine, what we were giving before 2016 was having 3 components, 3 strains of there. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Strains 1 and 2 and 3. Later on the switch day, WHO has recommended that go for the switch. Remove the strain 2. Remove the strain type 2. Why they wanted to remove the strain type 2 from trivalent? They wanted to come to the bivalent and include the strain 1 and strain 3 out of 3. Why they wanted to do that? Because WHO has seen that the strain 2 is not at all there in the field. It's completely eradicated. So since 1999, as per the WHO report, they are saying that the strain 2 we have not found in anywhere. We have not found that strain 2. So in 2016, they came with a proposal. You have to switch from trivalent to bivalent. So bivalent oral polio vaccine will have only 2 strains. Okay. Before going into the switch, you know that lot many manufacturers has manufactured the trivalent OPV. Since 2015, they were into the news that we are going to remove this trivalent. That is why they wanted to minimize the trivalent OPV wastage after the switch. That if we do the switch in 2016, the vaccination wastage should not be more. Okay, and ensure that all the children are being vaccinated. Do not go for that. A stock should not get over of trivalent vaccine also, and a stock should not get empty with the bivalent also. That is why they wanted to ensure that all the children should be vaccinated and validate that country free of trivalent OPV. Okay. After the switch, government of India on 25th April 2016, they have introduced this switch. After the switch, they have validated their all the centers. They rechecked their vaccination centers that whether we are having some vials of prevalent or not. That is why they did, and they checked, and nowhere it is being introduced in our country right now. It's only bivalent OPV is being introduced for each and every kids right now. Coming with the fractional IPV and IPV, when government initially launched, you might be in confusion that we are giving oral polio vaccine also and IPV vaccines also. Both are the polio vaccines. Friends, in coming few years, OPV will also, it will be phased out from the market, but not right now. It will take a lot of time. That is why the government has introduced with a consultation with the WHO that we are launching IPV and the fractional IPV. Initially, when government launched, it was a IPV. Later on, the volume per dosage is less for the fractional IPV. Look at this, it is 0.5 ml, where it is 0.1 ml. Even if you give 2 doses of fractional IPV, and if you give 1 doses of IPV, both will generate the same kind of immunity into an individual. That is why, on behalf of WHO, Government of India has changed this scheduling. Earlier, IPV was given only 1 dose, but later on, it was launched with the fractional IPV, and we are giving it 2 doses. In the national immunization schedule, government has included that fractional IPV, and we are giving it 6 and 14 weeks of at the age of 6 and 14 weeks, and the route of administration is intradermal. IPV, OPV, this is, you know that IPV is killed vaccine, that is a live attenuated vaccine. We are giving IPV subcutaneous or the IM, okay, and for the orally, you know that OPV, we are going to give the OPV, okay. In case of IPV, it will induce circulating antibody, but no local immunity will be there. But in case of oral polio vaccine, the immunity is both for the humoral and intestinal. It will induce antibiotic quickly. Okay. IPV, whenever there is an epidemic, it is not being used. It's not useful in controlling epidemic. Inactivated polio vaccine is not being used for the control of epidemic, whereas the OPV you can use. Okay. In case of IPV, you can see that it's prevent paralysis, but does not prevent reinfection with the wild polio virus. Again, it prevents not only paralysis, but also intestinal reinfection. OPV is having higher side, so it is preventing the intestinal reinfections also, and it does not only prevent paralysis. Remember, whereas IPV will prevent the paralysis, but not that it will have the prevention from the reinfection from the wild polio virus. Okay. Later on, rotavirus. Recently introduced rotavirus, pneumococcal, MR vaccination, Japanese encephalitis. Is all the vaccines are introduced recently by the government of India. If you see this rotavirus, route is oral, give 5 drops. It can be given till 1 year of age, and the dosing schedule is 6 and 14 weeks. PCV vaccination, wherever applicable, it's not applicable all over the country. Again, it is given at 6 week and 14 week. Okay. It is also given at the age of 1 year, and go for that anterolateral side thigh, that is the right thigh. Use that right thigh. Earlier, we were in the starting of the phases, we were using MMR vaccine. Then we moved to measles vaccine. Now we have moved to MR vaccination. In 2018-17, Government of India has launched the MR campaign. MR campaign Government of India launched. Because of this MR campaign, when Government of India launched, lot many people protested that we are not going to take this particular vaccine. they launched in the phase wise, but there was a lot of repercussions from the public. So government stopped that vaccine initially. Later on, again, government got the confidence of the people. They did a lot of awareness and health talk about the MR vaccination. And currently, the status is in each and every state, it is being introduced, MR vaccine. Japanese encephalitis also, it's not applicable to all the states. All the states of our country, it is applicable wherever the encephalitis cases are very high. Suppose like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, it is being applicable. Okay, vitamin E doses, first doses you give at 9 months, that is 1 lakh international unit. Later on, every 6 months, you have to give 2 international unit after every 6 months, and the dosage is correct. Thereafter, pentavalent booster is not being given. Remember, friends, again the DPT is coming into play, and whenever you are going for the booster doses, go with the DPT boosters. Second dose is second dose. You have to MR vaccine second dose. Again, go for the OPV booster. I told you vitamin A vaccine that after every 6 months, go for the 2 lakh international unit. So in total, up to 5 years of age, a child should be given a vitamin A of 17 lakhs of international unit. So remember this, that first dose you are giving at 9 months, and later on every 6 months you are injecting 2 lakh international unit and for vitamin A. So totally it will be 9 doses, 17 lakh international unit. This is also being asked in your PG entrance exam. Tetanus, go for the 10 and 16 years. Okay. The importance of TT vaccine, I told you in the children is 10 years and 16 years, but for the pregnant lady also it is very important. And whenever you are injecting any pregnant lady, take the proper history. Go for the TT1 dose, TT2 dose with an interval of 4 weeks. With an interval of 4 weeks, and the route is intramuscular, go with the upper arm. If a particular lady is being pregnant, okay, was pregnant 3 years, within the last 3 years, take their status, ask that particular lady that whether the vaccination schedule was there for TT or not. If at all she is having a documentation, go with only booster dose. If at all the year is within the 3 year, go with the booster dose, because every lady is getting Mamta card after the registration for their pregnancy. So if you ask their previous card, please show their previous card, they will bring their previous card. If they are having the documentation of both the TT vaccine, go with the booster dose. If at all you are having a doubt and you do not know the status, the particular status of that woman, inject 2 doses. Okay, so for the this is the summary outline of the pregnant woman, that whenever she is coming for the visit, give vaccinate that particular lady with the TT vaccine. Okay, infants, I told you what are the vaccinations should be given at the birth. We know these 3 vaccines, OPV, BCG, and hepatitis B. Before 1 year, for full immunization, 3 doses of OPV, 3 doses of rotavirus, because 6 and 14, 6 and 14. 3 doses of pentavalent, 6, 10, 14. Okay, 2 doses of fractional IPV, 6 and 14 weight. Okay, 3 doses of PCV. Okay, MR vaccine first dose and JE vaccine first dose. Why? Because MR vaccine is given at 9 months and JE vaccine is also given at 9 months. Okay, before the age of 2, for the complete immunization, you know that the MR vaccine will have second dose, DPT booster will have, DPT booster 1 will have, polio booster, and JE second dose will be there. So remember this, sir. Usually why they are asking that what are the vaccination for the full vaccination for the 1 year kid. So remember all these names. Okay, moving ahead, lot many times in your viva, one question is being asked, what is herd immunity? Okay, it's a type of immunity that occurs when the vaccination of a portion of population, you are doing a portion of population, not you are not immunizing to everyone, you are not vaccinating to everyone, but still that proportion of the population will protect the unprotected individual also. Whenever you are going for the herd immunity, should have a group of a structure, herd structure. Okay, and whenever you are you are having a herd structure, immunize everyone, and because of that herd, the other herd will get protection. And you know that the occurrence of clinical and subclinical infections in the herd is there, so definitely other people will get protected. You have the examples of polio, diphtheria. There are two examples. Again, these two examples are being asked in your PG exams. Coming to the open well policy, very easy, it's very easy. Open well policy is applicable vaccine. Whenever you are opening that vaccine vial, whenever you are opening the vial of the vaccine, suppose you have used in a session, you went to the outreach sector and you have used it. So open well policy is it can be used at more than one immunization session up to 4 weeks. Means up to 28 days if you have opened the vial, up to 28 days, you can reuse that particular vaccine. That is the open vial policy. But there are some vaccine which does not follow the open vial policy. These are measles vaccine, BCG vaccine, rotavirus vaccine, and JE vaccines. Whenever you are having, you see the site, that a particular site, suppose one vaccine you are opening, it will having some 5 doses or the 10 doses, there are some 10% are there only, because this 4 vaccine will not follow the open vial policy. Whenever you are opening that JE vaccine for the one patient, and the rest of the doses will go with full vial is best. So look into that, count the members, whether this vaccine will have a sufficient number of people or not, and then only open that particular vaccines. That is the open vial policy does not apply to these 4 vaccines because it will get contaminated. Okay, cold chain, you know, we have a storage, your transportation, associated equipment, temperature monitoring devices you are having, and where you will go on storing. Okay, you have some electrical, you have some solar system, you have some non-electrical. Non-electrical, you know that you are having some kind of vaccine carrier where you are taking into the fields. Okay, and there are some electrical and there are some solar system also. Okay, we'll discuss all this thing. See this cold chain and the logistics system. Vaccine manufacturer companies manufacturing, they are transporting by air. You see the temperature is +2 to +8 degrees Celsius. Okay, and -15 to -25 degrees Celsius. Everything will be clear. Okay, good. So whenever you are getting, you will store, you will go for the state refrigerator, you will store there. Okay, you will have the insulated van supplied to the district. District will supply to the primary health center, and then from the primary health center, the vaccine will be carried to the peripheries, sub-centers, and it will get immunized to the kids of the mother. Domestic refrigerator. This domestic refrigerator will have a cabinet temperature of +2 to +8 degrees Celsius with holdover time of only 4 hours. I will discuss this holdover time. Therefore, they are not recommended for the common universal immunization process. You know that. Later on, however, they are used in the urban dispensaries. Wherever the urban dispensaries are there, a lot of private practitioners are using the refrigerator for the storage of the vaccine in the urban area. Okay, it is not for the rural area. Why? Because the continuous power supply is not there in the rural area. Okay. So, what is holdover time? In an event of power failure, suppose your center is in periphery, is the outreach. Suppose you are having an ILR, Iceland refrigerator. Okay, you are having a lot of vaccine into that, and now the power is cut off. Power is cut off. See the holdover time. For any functional healthy cold chain equipment is defined the time taken by the equipment to raise the inside cabinet temperature. Time taken to raise the inside cabinet temperature from its cutoff temperature to the maximum temperature limit. Suppose I told you +2 to +4 degrees Celsius, +2 to +8 degrees Celsius, I told you. In case of ILR, suppose the light is disconnected now. You're in the periphery, you do not have the generator supply, you do not have the electric supply. Okay, the light is cut off. Okay, if the temperature of that particular ILR is 4 degrees Celsius, you know that we have to maintain a temperature of +2 to +8 degrees Celsius. The time taken from 4 degrees Celsius to +8 degrees Celsius, okay, the time taken to reach 8 degrees Celsius from the 4 degrees Celsius is your holdover time. Till the time you can arrange for the electricity supply, till the time you can call the power generator house that at what time you are going to give the electricity. So if you are having a 2 hour of the holdover time and you know that after 2 hours and after your survey from the electrical department that we are not going to give the electricity for another 6 hours, you know that this +4 to +8 degrees Celsius, it will take hardly 2 hours. So within that 2 hours, you have to transfer your vaccine to the center where the electricity supply is there. Otherwise, if you're not doing that, otherwise, all your vaccines which is being kept in the ILR is of no use. It will get contaminated, and later on you are holding as a position, administrative position of medical officer in your particular center. The question will arise on you that how it happened. So you will be answerable for that. Delay in action, even though you are knowing that the power is cut off, I am having 2 hours of holdover time, and still you haven't done anything to transport that vaccine to the other center. See this ILR. You are having a compressor in that, temperature maintenance. Whatever the sequence here you are getting, bottom line and the apex line. See the top, see the bottom. The arrangement of the vaccination is being done in this particular fashion. Remember it. The bottom line will have the oral polio vaccine. Questions, whatever the questions are being asked in your exam, which is the heat sensitive and which is heat resistant. Okay. See, oral polio vaccine is in down. Above the oral polio vaccine, you are having a measles. BCG, along with the BCG, you can keep the Japanese encephalitis. Later on, you will have the T series vaccine. T series vaccine. Remember like this: rotavirus, tetanus, DPT. Okay, you will have the T series vaccine. First rotavirus, tetanus, DPT, then pentavalent vaccine. Okay, and then hepatitis B you can keep on the top. Along with that, lot many diluents will be there for some vaccination. Go with the diluents and keep those diluents on the top. Okay, and nowadays to maintain the temperature of the ILR, the thermometer, digital thermometer is being kept, and that digital thermometer is being connected to some software of the computer. Whenever you are getting a temperature lower or higher, it will automatically indicate that the ILR is not functioning proper. So the indicator will show you that it's not in a good condition. Kindly come and check it. Okay. So the vaccination performa from the bottom to top, you have to remember, is as in the sequence. See, I told you very sensitive to heat, okay, or very sensitive to freezing. Bottom will have low temperature. Bottom of the ILR will have the low temperature. Top will have the somewhat better temperature. If you see the vaccine sensitive to freezing, most sensitive is hepatitis B. That is why in the ILR, hepatitis B is being kept on the top. If you will keep the hepatitis B down, means the hepatitis B, your vaccine is getting contaminated. Okay. See this vaccine sensitive to heat. Okay. I told you the down will be the oral polio vaccine. See, BCG is after reconstitution is very sensitive, but if at all it is not reconstituted, it is below. But the vaccine sensitive to heat is oral polio vaccine and the rotavirus. Again, this is being asked in your PG exam for the oral polio vaccine, that is vaccine sensitive to heat. Whenever you are keeping some ice packs in the deep freezer, look this picture. This is a deep freezer photo. Now you want the ice packs, and why do you want the ice packs? Why do you want the ice packs? Because you have to carry vaccine to the outreach area for the vaccination site. Okay, you are having the micro planning, you know that planning, that tomorrow I am going to that particular area where the electricity supply is not there. We do not have the ILR facility. We do not have the refrigerator facility. So you have to take that particular vaccine in the ice box. And to carry that ice box, you need the ice packs. And whenever you are keeping the ice pack, okay, a small compartment, large compartment, unfrozen ice packs, we are keeping it for the, we are keeping in freeze for the freezing. Okay, you have to arrange that as in a small compartment. You see that a small compartment first, right hand side top, arrange and store frozen ice packs horizontally in layer, also store in the cold boxes. Okay, this is the large compartment. You keep some air. You do not attach both the ice packs into a single layer. You have to keep them separately for some air circulation. Okay, that is why it should be kept in the crisscross pattern. It should be kept in the crisscross pattern into the larger compartment, into the deep freezer, to have a good amount of air circulation. Okay, see, this is the real scenario how the ice packs is being kept in the deep freezer. You can see that all the vaccines are being kept in the crisscross fashion. No two ice packs is attached to each other, and for the better air circulation, all the ice packs are having some gaps into it. Okay, now you are moving to your periphery center. What you have to do? Take out the ice pack from the deep freezer, keep it on, place it on the table. Why? Because place ice packs on the table and wait until the frost of the surface ice packs melts. Why? Because it's a deep freezer. There will be a lot of frost over the ice packs. To see the ice packs are conditioned, observe the sweating. Observe the sweating. Water drops on the ice packs. Shake the ice packs to hear the water move inside or not. Whenever this is called seasoning, okay, what you are doing it, just placing from the, you're taking the ice pack from the deep freezer, that is the frost one, you have kept on the table. Okay, after keeping on the table, you will find that lot of whatever the frozen section of that ice pack is there, it's getting wiped out. Okay, then you will have some sweating, you will have some air water droplets over that ice packs. Do the seasoning, move it, and if you see that if it is moving, means that particular ice pack is fit to keep into the ice box. Clean that, clean with the dry cloth. Okay, dry the ice packs before placing them into the vaccine carrier. Place the ice packs first, and then you can keep the vaccine. See this. This is the vaccine carrier. Ice pack is being placed all over the four sides. Okay, and that's how vaccines and the syringes are being kept in the ice box. The temperature of deep freezer is usually 43 degrees Celsius. I told you, you can hold over time is at 40 degrees for 2 hours minimum for the deep freezer. ILR hold over time is for 20 hours at 40 degrees, 43 degrees Celsius. Okay, but if you see this plus 2 to plus 8 degrees Celsius, minus 15 to minus 25 degrees Celsius is for the deep freezers. Any vaccine storage should have a temperature of plus 2 to plus 8 degrees Celsius. Any vaccine storage. You cannot keep the vaccine into the deep freezer or the small deep freezer or large deep freezer only and only if at all you want to keep. OPV stock you can keep for 3 months. Why? Because OPV in ILR also it was kept down. So for the in deep freezer only OPV you can keep. Otherwise, no vaccine can be kept in the deep freezer. This is a vaccine vial monitor to check the efficiency, to check the efficacy of your particular vaccine, whether you can use that vaccine or not. See the color coded system. You will have some violet color outside, and inside you will have a square. Okay, if at all both the color is getting matched, or the inner square is darker than the outer, the both the types of the vaccine VVM, means you can understand that this is contaminated. you cannot reuse that particular vaccine, and then you have to inform your supervisor that these vaccines has been contaminated. Look down the color of the vaccines. Earlier, the VVM was coming on the side of the vial, but nowadays VVM is coming on the top of the vial. Okay. Okay. If at all you want to know this vaccine is usable or not, okay, you can do the SEC test. What you can do is, this is a sedimentation process. If at all your vaccine is contaminated, if you will test your vial, keep the control one, which is good. If you're having some doubt with the vaccine, go for the SEC test. If you SEC that vaccine and keep it on the plain surface, there will be some kind of sedimentation. And if at all you are getting the sedimentation, please do not use the vaccine. You see the left hand side photo, whether it is green tick, you see that particular vaccine was also was also done with the SEC test. And the right hand side, okay, where sedimentation is written, you will get the sedimentation. So that particular vaccine is, you cannot use that particular vaccine. This is to check the efficacy, that whether this vaccine is usable or not. Wherever, if you are not able to find with the VVM, you are getting confused with the vaccine vial monitor, you go with the SEC test also. This is alcohol stem thermometer. I showed you. It was kept in the deep freezer also. It was kept in the ILR also. So this is the alcohol stem thermometer. Okay, and you see their temperature reading +2 to +8 degrees Celsius. You will get here. You see this deep freezer reading -15 to -25 degrees Celsius is also there. Okay, so it can be used both in the ILR as well as in the deep freezer. Suppose you are going to conduct some session into that particular outreach area, how you are going to track it for that particular area. Suppose you have done a micro planning 1 month before, now you want to again go for the session site. So you are having, this is the left hand side is the tracking back. Okay, in January, February, all the monthly it is being kept. All the Mamta card is being kept here. Okay, and wherever if it is completed immunization of the child, you have completely immunized, keep in the green box. If it is not, okay, keep in the or child dead or left that area, particular area has left, they have migrated to other place, you can keep it in the red box. See, these are counterfoil, placing in the month pocket, due for the next dose. Whenever there is next dose, keep in that particular month wise. Okay, before the immunization session, whoever will be ASA or Anganwadi worker that track the child and invite for the due vaccination. Okay, this is the overall tracking system. Like you will have the card, you keep that card in January month, February month, March month. Whenever you wherever you feel that this child next due dose is in the February, keep that in February box. And whenever you're coming for the site visiting, take out that February month card and see whoever the child, and now you can call them personally, or if they are coming to you, it's good. Otherwise, you go and visit them. House marking, whenever you are going to visit the house to house survey for the routine immunization, you will mention the house number and date of the visit when you have visited a particular house. This is the waste disposal. It is safe injection and waste disposal. Why? Because this is very, very important for the beneficiary as well as the healthcare worker. Why? Because if you are not handling it properly, this waste disposal, we will have a lot of problem. You know that. Okay. So whenever at the site of vaccination, you will have some hub cutter. This is the hub cutter. Lot many times it is being kept on the Viva table also, or in the spotter also, that identify the object. This is the hub cutter. Whenever you are see the needle is being broken into it. Needle is being cut into this. See this insertion hole. Okay, so needle, and whenever you will take out the plate of this thing, you will get the needle is being cut into it, and later on you can dispose that. See, this is the figure. You cut here. Okay, this is the hub and this is the needle. So till here, it will get injected into this hub cutter, and through here you can cut it. disposal site. Whatever you have the material like plastic part of the syringes or empty and broken vial, go with the red one, red color box, color coded plastic. And if you are having the needle cap or the wrappers or the needle cap, you can be kept in the black color plastic. Okay, but whenever you are getting some kind of hub cutter, like you have empty vial or the broken vial, uh, you disinfect both the things, okay, with the sodium hypochlorite for 30 minutes, and then for the hub cutter material, you can dispose it in safety pit. You make a pit, put it inside that, and then blast it. That is a safety pit. Okay, so you can do that. And for plastic syringes and those which are unbroken vials, you can recycle it by using sodium hypochlorite. Okay, these are two signs of biohazard symbols and the cytotoxic hazard symbols. Both the symbol has been asked lot many times in the PC exam. Okay, so remember this biohazard symbol and the cytotoxic symbols. Cytotoxic, no need to confuse. Why? Because it will be written C. Every year, March 16, we are having National Vaccination Day. And that is why I have kept in the last way, because don't forget, vaccination your baby must get. Means your nearby houses, in your houses, you can tell that no child should be escaped from the vaccination process. This is a kind of awareness that you educate everyone for the vaccination. There is one more thing. World Immunization is being celebrated on April 24 to April 30 every year. And in 2021, that the theme of that the World Immunization Week was vaccines bring us closer. Right now, also you are seeing that vaccines is bringing us closer. Why? Because everywhere we are having some COVID vaccination certificate checking. Wherever you are going, they are asking for the vaccination certificate. That is why this is called, they are saying that the vaccines brings us closer, means it is being recommended to everyone that please go and take vaccine wherever needed. This is from my side. Thank you everyone for hearing to my lecture. If you are having any kind of doubt, you can please ask.
If there are any doubts, you can please unmute yourself or put them in the chat section and I'll read it out. Does anyone have any doubts? You can always unmute yourself and ask the doubts as one-on-one to Sir. So I think your session was so good, nobody has any doubts.
Okay.
Do we conclude the session, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, it was indeed a comprehensive class. The discussion was very useful. Thank you very much, sir, for taking your time out for us today. We are ever grateful for your support and your guidance. And we also thank all the participants who made this session possible today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.